And welcome to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Marcellus Riley here.
What was that about, bro?
This color.
What was that about?
These undertones.
I like it.
Okay, that's all I was waiting for.
I like it.
Be on cue next time. Now you're on the building.
Can we start the show now?
Why? You don't want to do swag awards anymore? Because I'm winning today. Got so much to talk about. Let's get it started with Tom Brady, who had the ball with a little over a minute left and down by 1 to the Bears. Brady threw back-to-back incomplete passes on 3rd and 4th down, then held up 4 fingers to the ref, which seemed to indicate he thought he had another play. But the Bucs had already turned the ball over on downs. Bruce Arians said after the loss, Brady knew it was 4th down. Take a listen to Brady's explanation.
Was it clear for you guys whether it was 3rd or 4th down on that last play?
Yeah, we just you're up against the clock and you're up against I knew we had to gain a chunk, so I should have been thinking more first down instead of chunk on that down receiver.
Ooh, Acho. Something wrong with Tom Brady?
There's absolutely something wrong with Brady, man. And let me tell you, the issue is that Tom Brady, I've said this all along, I'm struggling to find out, does he actually fit in with the Bucs? Here's what I mean, Marcellus. When you have a kidney, liver, heart transplant, when you take an organ and put it into a new body, sometimes that organ, it can reject the body. Sometimes that body, it can reject the organ. Why? Because that body wasn't naturally built with that organ in place. Here's what I mean. Tom Brady is a new organ that they're trying to fit into this Buccaneers body, and there's a little bit of the body, the Bucs rejecting the organ, Tom Brady, a little bit of Tom Brady, the quarterback, the organ rejecting the body. Let me break it down for you further.
Oh, more surgery.
A little bit more. But I'm not gonna talk surgery, but I'm gonna dissect my notes if I may.
Do you? Got time.
Last year, Jameis Winston, 8.2 yards an attempt, 6th in the NFL as far as how far they were throwing the ball. How many yards every time you were throwing the ball? This year, Tom Brady, 7 yards an attempt. Better than he was in New England, but still only 22nd in the league. Why does that matter? 2014, I played Bruce Arians when he was coaching the Arizona Cardinals. Every 6 plays, they were taking a shot. That was our game plan studying going into that week. Okay. Carson Palmer at quarterback. Every 6 plays, they're taking a shot. That is Bruce Arians' body. This organ of Tom Brady, we already know. He's more of a check-down guy. Last year, Tom Brady, he led the league, 2nd in the league, passes to running backs, Marcellus. But that matters because the Patriots were built for that. Yeah. That was their body. Running backs, they can run out the backfield. They can catch the ball out the backfield. But when you look at the Buccaneers, Leonard Fournette, a bruiser. He ain't a receiver. Ronald Jones, phenomenal game, over 100 yards yesterday, Rojo. But he's not that kind of back. What is wrong with Tom Brady right now, Marcellus? On my first lap, I think that the organ doesn't necessarily mesh with the body.
Ooh, I like that first lap. Interesting. I am going to completely disagree and reject your argument like this body is rejecting that organ. You said Bruce Arians is the body. That
in the Bucs, the Bucs.
Yeah, that ain't TB12. Ooh, if Tom Brady got to get in that body, everything will get rejected. Respect to you, Bruce Arians, but you ain't looking like you're eating some kale like Tom Brady is. All right, let me get to my argument.
That's your point.
Here's my argument why there's nothing wrong right now with Tom Brady. One, he's suffering from doing too much without knowing enough. You ever been there? You ever been there in a book? I've been there in a few books. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and you're like, all right, I see where this book is going. And then that sucker, you flip the next page, guess what it says? Volume 2. You're like, wait a minute. And Volume 2 had nothing to do with the other chapters. It's going to reset. What's happening with Tom Brady is, as he just went through basically a preseason in 1 game after 5 games, he didn't have the natural process to learn. He didn't have the natural opportunity to learn his mistakes without the entire world's criticism. I remember vividly when the world shifted from practice to performance. Practice used to be when you couldn't do something, this is where you learn to do it. Remember those days? And you worked on your left-hand layups. You worked on a spin move that has never worked in the game. But then all of a sudden, coaches started to get a little tight, and they used to get evaluated from ownership. And now, practice turns into performance. So guys can't even work on their craft the same in practice. Well, imagine if you're going to a new system and you're Tom Brady and you're like, I can't even work out all of my ills and issues without the entire world seeing it. That said, Tom Brady is still on a historic pace for Tom Brady and his GOAT success. Here's a couple of little nuggets right here. You know I love me some deep analytics. Pro Football Focus, you know what they talk about, right? Deep football. Not just the lazy high approach that you like to take a lot of times. I wonder who's ranked third this year by Pro Football Focus at quarterback. Tom Brady. Who's number 1 and 2? Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Based on what metric?
Oh, you got to, come on, you got to go on the site for that. Come on, we ain't got 2 hours for that. No, I can give you the metrics. They're very boring. Very boring. The point is, Tom Brady is going through the process we all have to go through. Success is not linear, and at times it won't look like you're progressing. Maybe you have to take a step back to go 2 steps forward.
I got to disagree with you.
A little bit.
I know. The first, 30 seconds, I was rocking with my dog. My dog looked good today, so I said, I'm going to let you slide. I'm going to let you pass. Got to work on your light-skin pose, though. but no, here's why I have to reject that. Because the other issue with Tom Brady, Marcellus, is he's having to do things he's never had to do before. So he can't go out and play quarterback anymore. Can we talk about this? Can we look at the sideline blow-up? Remember when Tom Brady comes out cussing, dog cussing, like you ain't never seen nobody cuss before. And you got to watch at him. Because he says, you got to be bleeping kidding me. How can we bleeping win like this? What is Tom Brady trying to say? When Tom Brady was in New England, Marcellus, they were not penalized. They didn't have a lot of penalties. Third for 19 years, on average, they were third in penalties. But the Buccaneers, 11 penalties last night, 100 yards of field position of straight penalties. What does that mean? Tom Brady now has to carry more of the load. So what is wrong with Tom Brady? It's not only that they don't exactly mesh, but it's that Tom Brady is used to just being able to go out there and play quarterback. I only want to play quarterback. Marcellus, you and I, we do this show. We are the talent, right? I hate that name. I hate the adjective.
That's corny.
Well, it's just like, that implies that other people aren't talented.
Exactly.
No, we're the talent. What that means is we don't have to produce the show. We don't have to direct the show. We don't have to choose the we just have to come out here and talk and look good doing it. The problem, though, now is Tom Brady has to be the talent plus the producer, plus the director. Tom Brady has to do more than he's ever accustomed to doing. In New England, he just had to go out there and play quarterback. Phenomenal at doing that. Greatest of all time when it comes to winning. But now, he can't just go out there and play quarterback. Now he got to do more.
Will you stop with this heat? See, this is what happens when they give us a day off. They give us a day off, Yacho just takes his whole mind and takes off. It's like, you go on vacation fully. He has not had to do things like this. What? He's never had to do this before? Just the 5th time in his career that he started a season with 12 touchdowns and 1,300 passing yards through 5 games. That means if he's doing it this year, he's done it 4 other times. He's used to this level of success. And as crazy as we're going to look at the record and say 3-2, he's not doing as well. He's done this 4 other times, and I think those have been successful campaigns. Brady, right now, is one of 6 quarterbacks averaging over 275 yards passing and 2 touchdown passes.
No, but that doesn't mean nothing to me.
You ready for this?
Please.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to. I have learned to write notes with notes because I know you're going to always do this.
You know my count is coming.
Your little Gumby, your little flat top curls up, and you start going, I don't like that. Okay, you like this? You want to know the other 5?
What?
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Oh, I know I got you in your heart now. You heard. Josh Allen. And Dak Prescott. It's hard to beat that up if you're going to say Tom Brady's in the category.
Let me tell you why that doesn't matter.
Try.
Let me tell you why that doesn't matter. Because here's what we know. Last year, who led the league in passing?
You stop with that stat. I already disproved
that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that equals a lack of success.
This year?
Yes, but I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that means a lack of success. What I'm saying is this. Bruce Arians, the head coach for the Bucs, is a reason for all these yards. I don't care about all these meaningless yards.
You say Bruce Arians making Tom Brady?
With passing yards, yes. Bruce Arians makes everybody. Bruce Arians makes everybody with passing yards.
He's done this 4 other times. Would Bruce Arians had help on those?
I'm saying you're sitting here telling me that a declining quarterback who we know is declining. We know he's declining.
Yes. That's why he left New England, because he was declining. He said, I need a new co-pilot to help me fly this plane. Ain't nothing wrong with the plane. Y'all lied to me. Told me the engine was dead. No, the engine ain't wrong. The co-pilot and we didn't have enough of the right passengers. We had too much weight. You ever get on a plane? Small planes. private plane. You got to shift sides. Point of this is, if you're going to look and put the focus on Tom Brady is actually doing Tom Brady things. And more importantly, he went out there and lost the game last night. But what other game did he lose? The first game of the year to a team that had won the division 3 straight years. Is that team now winning the division, I ask you, Acho? Is the Saints,
No,
Saints
the Saints are not.
Thank you. So Tom Brady's doing what Tom Brady does. Win the division, get in the playoffs, hopefully go win a Super Bowl.
Marcellus, 25 for 41, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 250 yards, is not Tom Brady things. Please do not excuse mediocrity and try to title that under Tom Brady things.
So stop trying to win the argument. You're right on that part.
Losing to the Chicago Bears, a declining Chicago Bears, is not a Tom Brady thing. Now, losing to my guy Nick Foles, that's a Tom Brady thing. But don't try to call this a Tom Brady thing. Forgetting what down it is, Marcellus, is not a Tom Brady thing. There is utterly and clearly something wrong with Tom Brady. Now, yes, you're going to see the positives of side effects of Bruce Arians, a lot of yards, but you're also going to see some of the negatives. There's a lot of undiscipline on this team, and Tom Brady clearly isn't used to that. And that's the problem.
No, the problem is Tom Brady is digesting so much information. He even says, I still have gray areas in terms of learning this offense. Bruce Arians is sitting there like, I know the offense completely. Byron Leftwich is like, I know the offense completely. These new players are like, we're trying to learn the offense / learn Tom Brady. And that's why he went belligerent on the sidelines. He's done that in New England 1,000 times. Ask Bill O'Brien about Tom Brady giving him the business, and also ask Tom Brady about penalties. He's seen this frequently with this team. Like, this team is not as disciplined as before. But if you look at this situation, he's been there before. 2016. 109 penalty yards, 11 penalties. It's rare for Tom Brady to have to see that, but it's not rare for him to respond just like that. Coming up at the top of the hour, we have more on Tom Brady, who Acho says is falling off. We'll tell you if he's good enough to carry the Bucs, but first, Dak Prescott says Sunday's game against the Giants is a must-win. We'll tell you if we like his admission. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's head to Dallas, where the Cowboys has given up a total of 87 points in back-to-back losses and are currently 1-3 this season. Dak Prescott called Sunday's matchup at home against the Giants, quote, a must-win. Even though the Cowboys are only a half game back behind the division-leading Eagles. So, Marcellus, talk to me, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Do you like Dak Prescott admitting that this is a must-win game already?
Oh, I love him saying this. And I'm going to tell you why I love him saying this, because I'm all over the place in terms of how this lands psychologically.
Okay.
But I like him saying this because Dak is saying it with a wink, with a trick up his sleeve. For him saying must win, you know what he's really saying?
What's he saying?
I guarantee we gonna whoop these boys' butt. And he is guaranteeing. You know they beaten the Giants the last 6 times they played the Giants. And this might be the worst Giants team they're gonna see in all of those games. So now, Dak Prescott, who's averaging those 6 wins, 301 passing yards, those were those years. What do you think he'll do now? 16 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and a 117 quarterback rating. You could go out there and speak in hyperbole to create a sense of urgency, to remind your teammates, even though we have the easiest schedule remaining, 37 win percentage, our opponents going forward, this is a must-win. Wink, wink. We gonna whoop they butts and get this Cowboys train back on track. So I love him speaking in hyperbole to remind others of the sense of urgency, but also because he knows he got this one in the bag.
It's funny you say that, my brother, because while you're right, I've never heard someone be so right and so wrong at the same time.
They're gonna lose?
No.
Oh, okay.
I love Dak Prescott saying this, but your logic and reasoning behind it doesn't make sense. Dak Prescott, he realizes this is a must-win, and it's no wink-winks. Eyes are wide open because he knows they better win this game because it's a layup. Everything you said as far as statistically is right. Dak Prescott, he's thrown for 16 touchdowns to 1 interception his last 6 games against the Giants. 6-0 against the Giants. Dak Prescott 13-3 in his career against the Giants and the Washington football team, and he's 28-24 versus everybody else. What that means? This is a layup. And you better make your layups. You ain't got to make all your threes. We would like if you hit your mid-range jumpers, but your layups, you better make your layups. Dak Prescott currently sitting at 1-3. Dak Prescott 6-11 in his last 17 games, 6-10 in his last 16 games. So the last season, of football that Dak Prescott has played, he is 6-10. He's on track to go 4-12. He realizes, we better win this game. Not because of some psychological we must win, because say what you will about the Giants' record. Giants' record's abysmal. Giants' defense, not abysmal.
No, I get it.
They're 11th overall in defense as far as points allowed. So while the Cowboys been balling as far as putting points on the board, and the Giants suck putting points on the board, Giants' defense is actually pretty capable. But here's the other thing, and I'm going to end my first stop with this. Remember who Dak Prescott got fired? And I say Dak Prescott because—
Got fired?
Jason Garrett.
What, with the #1 offense and being a great quarterback?
Either way, Jason Garrett is currently the offensive coordinator. Jason Garrett is currently the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants. Yeah. Jason Garrett was basically Jerry Jones' adopted son. Dak Prescott divorced a family in Jason Garrett and Jerry Jones. So Dak Prescott cannot, will not, must not, shall not, canteth not lose to Jason Garrett and these Giants. That's why it's a must-win.
Okay, I like all of that, but I think you really skipped over something that was even greater and grander in terms of impact for this entire team. Let's not go organization and divorcing the family, great line. It's not about those relationships. It's about activating these players around on the Cowboys roster because the Cowboys are uberly talented.
Incredibly,
right? So talented that you're looking at them like, why are we underachieving? It has to be right here because it certainly ain't right here.
Absolutely.
So you got to play mind games. You got to get into wordplay. You got to start saying, since we're more talented, I can't say that sounds obnoxious. Guess what I will say? This is a must win. Wink, wink, we gonna win. That's like me right now saying, you know what? My next debate against Acho is a must win. I'm more talented. Wink, wink. I know I'm gonna win. I know I'm gonna smoke you in every debate I do. But the point is, jokes aside, you got to look at this situation where he's really trying to be a psychologist. This is not just like X's and O's. Oh, I want to go out there and make sure we put our best foot forward and hopefully we play, as he's saying, all that podium talk. Well, I hope we play well from the beginning, ending, and finish it the Cowboy way. Shut up. What you're really trying to say is, hey, y'all, if we can't beat these dudes, then it ain't going to happen,
We're saying the same thing because I feel you. My first real line, I skipped it, was I don't need players to lie to me for me to feel better. I know sometimes fans, y'all are like, no, say the right thing. We'll get to Xavier Woods' comments later saying it's not, I don't sprint all the time on a football field. I don't need Dak to lie to me. Football cliches. We're going to treat this game like every other game. This is just the most important game because it's the next game. I don't need that. Joe Judge, head coach for the Giants, he fed the Giants all the cliches in the world introductory press conference. They're 0-4.
Yeah.
Cliches are meaningless. Dak, I don't need your cliches. I like how you gave me the real. But you also have to remember, Marcellus, Dak knows if they lose, 6.8% chance the Cowboys make the playoffs. Dak Prescott, I don't think, Marcellus, that Dak is as confident as you are.
What do you mean?
By you saying, I know we're going to win this game. They don't know that. They lost to the Browns, sir. They lost to the Browns. The same Browns team that had lost 38-6 to the Ravens. Now, yes, now I think that the Browns are contenders instead of pretenders, but the Cowboys could have made us all believe the Browns were pretenders. It's the Browns beating and dismantling the Cowboys that made the Browns good. So I don't think there are any give-me's for the Cowboys right now, sir.
Oh, really? Oh, you know what's a give-me? The team that's leading the division right now, the Eagles. Even if the Cowboys lose this game, and you imagine the Cowboys 1-4, talking about and that's what I would feel. It's like, you want the real press conference or you want me to go up there? We're 1-4 right now. We got to get things on track. Come on, we got to play the Cowboys way. You know what I would say? That we're 1-4. Say Philly wins. We are 1.5 games back from a team we're going to see twice. That has a harder schedule than us because we have the easiest remaining schedule. You can play all kind of psychological games right now if you're the Cowboys, even if you falter this week. That's why this is not a must-win. He's really saying, I guarantee you we win.
Let me ask you this, because you've taught me this. The two games that are played, what are they? The one...
Literal scoreboard and psychological scoreboard.
Absolutely.
Uncle Momentum.
Absolutely. Dak Prescott realizes even if they lose. No, it's not a must-win as far as statistically. No. It's not a must-win as far as record.
No.
But if you lose to the 0-4 Giants, now you are certain that you were sorry. Marcellus, when you committed now, you're married, you're in obviously a loving,
you better say that cleaner than that. People over here thinking you know something they don't know. Say it again, David. This ring is real.
Marcellus is a married man.
There you go.
But Marcellus, before being married, when you're flirting, you're not sure about something. You're not sure if you're in a dating relationship. You're wondering, okay,
how you know?
Do I I like this person? Do I not? But then you're committed. You're like, I'm sure. Okay. I am certain. Right now, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, they're flirting with being sorry. They flirting with, like, are we sorry as hell? Right. I don't know. Like, we look sorry. Offensively, like, we look good, but we ain't got no real substance. Defensively, we ain't got no good personalities either. Like, they're flirting with being sorry. If they lose to the 0-4 Giants, they are married to being sorry as can be. And so that's why I genuinely believe that Dak Prescott, no, it's not a must-win as far as record.
Okay, we got it.
But he knows, bro, because you've been in locker rooms much longer than I. He knows if we lose to the Giants, the second worst team in the league, behind the Jets, we're terrible, period. And there really is not much coming back from that. We might win some games this season, but we're still terrible.
Yeah. Look, you burn up everything you need for ammunition to go forward to fuel yourself to success. And you can't do that. Losing to the worst team, what can you say after that? Oh, we're worse than the worst? Like, that means you're defeated right now. Right now, they're down. Right now, they're not on track. Right now, they're not playing up to their standard. Right now, Ezekiel Elliott this year is having his worst year in his career. Right now, Dak Prescott is looking at an offensive line in shambles. Tyron Smith might be on IR. I mean, this is going to be their third roster shift up front in the offensive line already. All of those things, the defense is dead last, giveaways and takeaways, 31st. Like, you're just looking around like, oh, my God. Savior in front of us. The sorriest team we're going to see this year, we must beat them. Wink, wink. I guarantee we beat them, because if we're going to ever achieve any of our goals, we got to do it this week and beat these boys.
I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it real with the audience here in conclusion. I look at it like this. NFL teams, it's who are you capable of beating and who are you capable of losing to? What do I mean by that? On any given Sunday, not every NFL team is capable of losing to every team. I'm just going to keep it a buck.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they can roll out there and they will beat the Jets every time. They can roll out there and they will beat the Giants every time.
What happened to any given Sunday?
No, it's any given lie. That is a lie. But the Cowboys, at this point in time, it's like, okay, we're not capable of beating everybody. They know that. Not right now. Not the way they're playing.
Okay, not the way they're playing. Not right now.
But if you lose to the Giants, you're capable of losing to anyone. And that's what the Cowboys and Dak Prescott
poetic right there.
Coming up, LeBron James could win his 4th title tonight, and I'm going to tell you why. Another ring for the king won't change the GOAT conversation. That's next. Speak for yourself. Presented by Monday.
Welcome back. Time now for a rewarding performance, sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Hey, Lakers can be rewarded with an NBA title if they win Game 5 tonight. The win would also mean LeBron James will have 4 titles with 3 different teams. Wow. Michael Jordan was a perfect 6 for 6, while LeBron has lost 6 times in the finals. But yesterday, the King said he's not concerned about his legacy, saying, quote, I don't live my life thinking about legacy. Ooh, joined now by Fox NBA analyst Slick Rick the
My
Booker.
dog Slick.
Let's get to you, Acho, first. Will the finals win tonight change the GOAT conversation?
Man, as much as I love LeBron, gentlemen, and y'all know I love LeBron,
don't do this.
It won't change the GOAT conversation, because the conversation will still be just that, a conversation. It will still be just that, a dialogue. I'm trying, Marcellus and Slick Rick, to make sure this conversation as a LeBron fan is a monologue. That is not a conversation.
Oh, wow.
That is just one person talking to another person. That is just LeBron fans talking to and down upon Jordan fans.
Wow.
If LeBron gets 4, it's still a dialogue. Jordan, 6 for 6, no Game 7s and championships. LeBron, if he gets 4, yeah, but what about them other losses? What about all them losses to the Spurs, to the Mavs? What about that? I want to make sure that it is no longer conversation-based, and that is just LeBron fans, LeBron stans talking to them other cats. Also, remember, in the NBA, that line of delineation, it's 5 rings. It's not 4, it's 5. That line of delineation separates those from Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Jordan. That is the line of delineation. Several have 3, others have 4, but it's that 5 number. I draw the parallel to the National Football League. A lot of quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl. Many quarterbacks have won 2 Super Bowls. But when you talk about winning 3 or 4 Super Bowls, that line of delineation being 3 or more, you only have Montana, Brady, Aikman, and Bradshaw. That is that line of delineation. So while the fourth finals would be great for LeBron and it gets him closer to ending the conversation, it doesn't change the conversation, Marcellus, because it is just that, still a conversation.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, this would change the conversation if LeBron James were to go out there and win his fourth title, third one with 3 different teams. Oh, my God. Here's the song for it. Another ring for the king would change everything. Yes, it will.
Yeah.
It's LeBron time. Let's talk about LeBron James. As you say, it wouldn't change anything? How? Because this is a conversation that's only broken down in a binary discussion. With statistics or with the eyeball test. And a lot of people wearing velour Jordan sweatsuits with Jordans on are always going to sit there and lazily sit there in the barbershop. I saw him play. Shut your old ass up. And everybody else that is involved with the game is going to look at stats and say, this is a death by 1,000 paper cuts, not just one knockout blow like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, when he was 35, you know what he was doing on his second retirement? What is LeBron James about to do tonight at 35? Get that fourth ring. Okay, so now let's have some fun because I want to attack you guys where I know you're going to hide, which is with the eyeball test and that old man over there getting his fade. So here we go. You know in life you're not supposed to believe anything you hear and only half of what you see, right? That's how I look at it, right? So in LeBron's era, this is an era that people don't understand what's really happening to kind of dampen us giving LeBron his flowers. This is an era of perimeter players. This is an era of the wing players. There are so many guys that are close, but not that close to LeBron in this era, that we don't really see how great he is. Let's talk about guys like a Giannis, a Steph Curry, James Harden, Kevin Durant. Close, but not that close. But this is the era of those guys. Now let's go back to Jordan's era. Acho was only 2 years old, so I can't talk to him. But I'm talking to you, Slick Rick, your old butt. And we remember that era. That era was built for the bigs. Remember, all the bigs were controlling it, and Magic Johnson and Bird had gotten old enough to the point where they had to pass the torch to Michael Jordan. But who we gonna say was like his closest competition? Stockton, Drexler, Barkley, Malone. Like, that's the point. So if you look at the situation where LeBron is facing, as John Hollinger says, LeBron is going with the flow, but he is going faster than anything we've ever seen. Michael Jordan was going against a headwind, and that's why people like you continue to say that there's no GOAT conversation. But if you use what I use, which is just empirical numbers, which I will use in my next slap,
I don't know what
it's not really going to be a conversation. The GOAT conversation has changed.
I'm still confused, honestly. I'm still confused.
Yeah, it hasn't changed the conversation because, as you said, Marcellus, and you said it correctly. I'm glad you said it. There is no conversation.
Oh, no, it is.
We don't talk about GOATs. There is no GOAT.
Oh, thank you, Slick.
There is a GOAT, and we know who that is. And we know it because, and I'm going to give this analogy because, Marcellus, you're a track guy. You just told me that we should give LeBron extra credit because he has a tailwind as opposed to Michael Jordan, who had to fight a headwind.
You didn't say that, Mark.
Michael Jordan played in the era of big men and had to reinvent himself because how the game was played then. LeBron James had the game shift toward his abilities, which is to be the biggest player on the floor, but also to be a perimeter player. And you don't want video because you don't want to see him elbowing Tyler Herro out of the way. And meanwhile, we're going to show you video of Michael Jordan having to go up and over Patrick Ewing and all types of big men inside just to be able to get to the rim. Yeah, you don't want the eye test because the eye test kills the argument. But I'm not just going to go by video.
Where are you going to go?
We can go, and I would hope that you would consider these stats. Number of championships, Michael Jordan has him. Number of league MVPs, Michael Jordan has him. Number of all defensive selections, Michael Jordan has him.
That ain't good.
So ultimately, those are the statistics, as we know, change from era to era. You can't give me statistics. It's where you rank when you play. And Michael Jordan demonstrated that he ranked at the top. You can come up with all kinds of goofy math for championships.
Oh, now it's goofy. Math is goofy. But your eyeballs ain't.
Championship appearances and all that.
Okay.
All I know is that Jordan got it done every time he needed to get it done. So does it open the conversation about where LeBron ranks with the all-time greats? Yes. But GOAT? No.
Yeah, four, I'm with you. So now, I'm not going to pile it on like you did, Slick, because I am a LeBron fan. So watch your mouth a little bit, but I co-sign most of what you said.
What did I say wrong?
I didn't like. You didn't say nothing wrong. I just didn't like it, okay? Truth hurts, okay? Stop speaking all that truth. Come up here and lie to me, Slick. Lie to me. Let me talk to Marcellus, if I may. Just a quick 2-box, please. Marcellus, you went to Columbia, sir.
Yes.
What kind of grades? You couldn't go home with what? A D, even a C, because you was gonna have issues, I would assume.
Yeah, I did. Too.
All day.
I had issues.
Michael Jordan has 6 chips, right? Yeah. LeBron has 3. 3 out of 6. What's that? 50%, right? Failing grade. Okay, if he gets these 4 chips, Marcellus, you smarter than me, but 4 out of 6. What's that? I think that's still what? 2 out of 3, so 66%. Failing grade. But if LeBron can get to 5. The line of delineation, at least now he's looking at what? 83%. Now you can get to that argument. Now it changes the conversation. 3 to 4 does not do much for King James. 3 to 4 is still failing in comparison to what Jordan did, getting 6 and going 6-4-6, no game 7s. LeBron needs that 4th so that he can get to 5. But getting 4 in and of itself, Marcellus, it actually does nothing to strengthen the core of that LeBron argument.
You know what? Give me the 3-box because I need to see Rick the Bucher in here as well. As you guys both have suffered from one of the logical fallacies that has permeated our society since the beginning. That a lot of times the first to do it, we attribute as the best to do it. When you're in an era where there's nothing but dudes doing sky hooks, not even jumping and dunking, socks all the way over their knees. In a world of bigs, all of a sudden this guy flies through the air. Oh my God, what is that? His legs split like E.T. over the moon. Oh my God, from the free throw line. You know you go to high school games now, they dunking from the free throw line. But he was the first to do it, so yeah, I'm not robbing Michael Jordan of his greatness. But let's not act like it's the best to ever do it, because right now we're watching someone go to their 10th finals, and there was a time where he went to 8 straight. Woo! Woo! Let me get out of here. 9 straight. Now, let's get to some numbers, because I'm going to stay in my lane now, because I beat y'all up already with the eyeball test. I told you, you know, the first to do it is not the best to do it. But let's go first into GOAT territory. Let's at least put LeBron right there on the heels of Michael Jordan. As you can see right here, top 10 statistical postseasons. Since everyone wants to say, oh, the numbers don't matter because of the era. Oh, when it matters most, what are your numbers? Look at these top 10 performances. Oh, my God, I wonder who has the best one in terms of box, plus minus, and also PER, my favorite category. All numbers are imperfect, but their generalizations aren't. They give you a story that you have to take from these numbers and extract. LeBron James and Michael Jordan sitting there 5 and 5 of the top 10, but LeBron James has the best postseason we've ever seen statistically, 2008, 2009. Take that off the screen because I want to see their faces as they're eating their crow. So now we're in a situation where there's LeBron James like, I'm right there with you. And then Michael Jordan, knowing the stats and knowing the story, what did he do when LeBron James won his last championship on the day of the parade? Hey, can we make a documentary about me? The Last Dance. That same exact day after LeBron says coming back from 3-1 against a 73-win team, guess who I am? The GOAT, man. And Michael Jordan said, I need a documentary. That same day, look it up if y'all don't believe me. So now, let's get to where we are now. Peak to peak. Oh, my goodness, because y'all want to go out there and just give me the simple, how many times he's been to the finals? How many times has he won the finals? Oh, defensive player of the year. How about this? Measuring peaks. My favorite 2 categories, once again. Michael Jordan and LeBron James right there, only separated by 1 digit, 1 number. You know the gap between number 2 and number 3, LeBron and Shaquille O'Neal, is 3.7. Take that off. Here's my stats.
What, Marcellus?
Here's my stats. That's why I'm going to barbershops, because they don't want to hear my numbers. Here's my stats. Peak to to peak, they're exactly, basically the same dude. In terms of being in the conversation, we know that they're right there. So how in the hell now, if he does one more thing, one more log in that fire, does that not change the intensity of this conversation and move him closer, if not surpassing, who y'all say is the GOAT?
If you want peak, how about this?
Oh, I'm gone.
The league scoring champion, and defensive player of the year in the same year. That's what Michael Jordan did in 1987-88.
Is that before the first or second
retirement? I can score better than anybody else, and I can stop anybody better than anybody else.
Giannis did that.
Give me a year. Okay,
and would that get Giannis?
in this era? And by the way,
what?
Dr. J is going to take an issue with you about this whole idea that Michael Jordan was suddenly the first guy who was an aerial acrobat and was taking off from the free throw line. It's not like Michael Jordan invented going Air Jordan.
These are post-merger
numbers. He just made the most out of it.
These are post-merger numbers. It's unfortunate that Bill Russell, even some of Wilt Chamberlain, Dr. J, et cetera, don't get into this conversation. They got to go to a different barbershop. But you're right. I shouldn't slight them like that. But the numbers, they don't support it.
And by the way, haven't we disputed this whole idea that Giannis was the real MVP this year? And wasn't this a shutdown year? I mean, there's a lot of things that bring into question Giannis being able to do it. Nobody has ever questioned that Michael Jordan deserved those two things in those 2 years. And by the way, he didn't just do it 1 year. He was a 10-time scoring champion, 9-time all-defense. I found it interesting when you look at what LeBron James has done, when he led the league in any category for all of his numbers. You know what he's done? You know how many times he's done that? Twice. He led the league 1 year in scoring, and this year he led in assists. He has been the ultimate utility. I do a little bit of everything, and I've done it for a long time. But for the same reason that we don't talk about Cal Ripken Jr. being one of the all-time great baseball players, I have to discount what the longevity of LeBron James does for his numbers. And considering how the game has changed, the numbers have been inflated. So you give me PER. PER is strictly offensive numbers. Of course, those numbers are going to be inflated. So I just can't. I'm going to go based on the awards that they won while they played. I'm going to give that more weight. I will give you this credit, though, Marcellus. You did a lot of work.
You did.
And you know what I find is when I do a lot of work to buttress my argument, it's because I know that the argument has holes in it. So I got to paste as much stuff up there as I can.
That's what you're doing, Slick.
To hold it up, rather than just those lock-solid bricks that go, challenge this.
They're not all offensive numbers. Steals is considered as well. So, I mean, I don't know what you call that. But anyway, more points.
How many times did he lead the league?
I want to hear about
Jordan did that 3 times. How many times did LeBron do that?
7-foot dudes that had 20-inch verts. Like, that's who he was playing against, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, you just made my argument, too. Who's talking about Cal Ripken? You know who we always talk about? Best baseball player ever? Babe Ruth. Why? Because he was the first baseball player to actually look like something. And then we hold on to that in folklore forever. Just like what we're doing with Michael Jordan. Nike's greatest contribution to our society is not their shoes. It's the branding and marketing they did for one athlete, Michael Jordan, where he's in protected, rare air that no one wants to use statistics and logic to let someone else pierce. And Michael Jordan knows this. He knows he is winning the story conversation, but he also knew that LeBron was coming in a statistical category. That's why he had to do that damn docudrama and come out there and say this. My last point is this. LeBron James, in longevity, in terms of peak performance, and we don't even know how this movie's going to end because at this time, Michael Jordan's movie was showing you the credits. It was about time for him to move on. We don't even want to count his declining years or his wizard years, where the Lakers were supposed to be LeBron's wizard years, and they have not disappointed in terms of his greatness still being up there. So if you want to end this conversation in your barbershop, Go ahead, close your doors. But meanwhile, I'll be sitting over here watching the stats add up and LeBron's greatness go up with it.
Sal, I just got one question, bro. What was that song? Can you run that back for me?
Oh, I got the song.
Yeah.
You want which one?
Another ring.
You want Jordan singing?
Another ring, yeah.
Every step
No.
you take.
Another ring for the king.
Another,
this one.
My intro one?
Yeah.
Okay. Another ring.
Yeah.
If for the king.
Yeah.
If we'll change everything.
Yeah.
Let
me on the remix, bro, because I got another ring.
Oh, God.
For the king. It's just bling, don't mean a thing. Coming up, Carson Wentz's Eagles are on top in the NFC East. We'll tell you what a win on Sunday will mean for the division lead. Next, speak for yourself.
Got on a suit and Jordan.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. The Eagles are a 7-point underdog to the Steelers on the road Sunday, according to Fox Bet. And Carson Wentz's squad is trying to extend their first-place lead in the NFC East with their second win of the season, taking on a tough 3-0 Steelers team. So, Marcellus, you think the Eagles can run away with the division with a win on Sunday?
Hell no. Run where? On what treadmill?
Don't do this.
Ain't going nowhere. Ain't going nowhere. What can they run away? First of all, they're not going to win. But beyond that, where are they going? Yeah, I don't know if you go back into history and watch some of the classic television shows like the Three Stooges or something. You ever seen one they just hold them by the neck and they be like running in place? How about Tom and Jerry, anything like that? Point being, the Philadelphia Eagles are going nowhere. Even if they were to miraculously win this game, which they're not, you know what's in front of them? Look at this schedule. 3 weeks, a stretch after Thanksgiving around Seahawks, Packers, Saints. If I'm anyone else in that division named the Dallas Cowboys, I'm sitting there like they're going nowhere. And the fact that they have no confidence to go anywhere. Oh, we won a game. Yeah, because our quarterback was running the ball. Probably going to get hurt again. Ooh. Oh, okay, you know what? Well, we tied Cincy. Oh, that ain't good. We played Washington in our division. Oh, no, we lost that game. Okay, here's the point. They have no confidence. And even if they were to muster up enough confidence to execute and win a game, they're not going anywhere because they're still going to be 1.5 in front of a team named the Dallas Cowboys that they have to face 2 more times.
The Eagles can absolutely run away with the division with the win on Sunday, but it's because mentally, not statistically. What we already know is this, Marcellus. You said it, I've said it just 30 minutes ago.
Good. Don't do that.
They're only going to be a game and a half up.
Thank you.
Guys, I get that.
So where they going?
But here's where they're going. If the Eagles do win on Sunday, what would have happened in their last 3 games? You would have tied the Bengals, a team that we now realize actually isn't terrible because Joe Burrow is a stud.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah.
You would have beat the 49ers, a team that is maligned but it still has one of the greatest coaches on the road, mind you. And then you would have beat a 3-0 Steelers team. Let's look at what else would have happened in the NFC East last 3 weeks. Cowboys would have lost to the Seahawks, lost to the Browns, and beaten 0-4 Giants, or lost to an 0-4 Giants. The Giants would have lost to the Cowboys and lost to the Rams and lost to everybody else. And then the football team, we already know, like, they don't even know what they're doing at quarterback. So here's what I mean. The Eagles can run away with the division, not statistically, but they can sit here and say, wait a second, we're trending upwards. Everybody else is on a steep slope downwards. Yes, the Eagles lost to the Washington football team week 1. That loss is going to haunt them for a long, long time. But you got to remember, y'all got to put that joint behind you. Think, if the Eagles do beat the Steelers, they're the only NFC East team that would have actually had a credible victory on the season. The Cowboys, on the other hand, because realistically, it's Cowboys-Eagles. That's what this conversation is about.
Thank you.
Cowboys can't gain anything this weekend, Marcellus. They have nothing to gain and everything to lose.
I give you that.
Nothing to gain.
They need a win, though.
They need a win.
Okay.
But man, you've been in them locker rooms. If you beat an 0-4 team, you're just kind of like, okay, we were supposed to.
Pass the mashed potatoes.
Absolutely.
Right.
But it's the Eagles. If you beat a 3-0 Steelers team, it's like, wait a second.
Wait a minute.
Amidst all this, we're actually good.
Yeah, okay, I give you that part. I won't give you the part where you whispered, understated, maligned 49ers team. You said maligned. Maligned?
You caught that?
Yeah, they literally showed up to play the 49ers in Levi Stadium. Like, where they at? It's like, oh, you got to make a right by the hospital and go in there. That's where all the players are, in the hospital. There were no 49ers available to play in that game, and you get a win off of that. I'll give you that, even though it's not the way you want to win, which is why I'm taking shots right now at the Eagles. This is amazing that this division, as you have termed, and I love it, NFC least is in this position where you're really saying, it's not even a war of attrition. It's like, who's going to backpedal and cross the finish line first? Because 8 wins this division. I mean,
yeah, maybe 7.
Maybe 7.
Maybe 7. Be real.
I am being real about that as well. Like, so if you're any team, and let's just be real, let's narrow the focus, as you said, Cowboys, how can you ever feel like you're out of it if all you have to do is get to an 8-8 finish line?
That's a good point, but the question on the floor is, can the Eagles run away with it? Yes, they can run away with it. Can they get caught? Yes.
Oh,
See, let's go to the details.
Let's
go to the details.
All right, I'm ready.
If the Eagles are a game and a half ahead, and they will not see the Cowboys until later in the season, as I look at it, the Eagles aren't going to see the Cowboys for a little. They're not going to see the Cowboys for a little minute. Yes, they can run away with it. Now, will they get caught? Who knows? Potentially. But if you go out there and dominate, think about this, because we've been here before. When you take an L, bro, and you finish your game, say you played a 1 o'clock game, and then you get back to the crib and you're watching the 4 o'clock game, and you're like, man, we just lost to is that the Eagles beating the Steelers? Like, are they nice now? Did Carson Wentz just beat this squad with a bunch of nobodies? And meanwhile, you are Dak Prescott. You just lost Tyron Smith. Huge loss, mind you. Cannot understate that. And you like, I don't know how we gonna get through this season. So, yes, the Eagles can run away with it.
Okay.
The Cowboys might be able to catch them week 16 when they see them on December 27th, a half game back. They might be able to catch them, but they can for sure run away with it right now as it stands.
Oh, my God. First of all, your timing right there, you play a 1 o'clock game and then you're watching a 4 o'clock game. Did you ever shower? Like, how you get home so
Shower
fast?
pill. Shower pill.
Like, how you get home to see the game right after us? Damn, Acho nasty. All right, here's a conversation I'm having in my head because I listen to you, Acho. People say I talk a ton, but I actually listen even more. I'm a very active listener. And I remember someone coming out here with a great Wileyism saying hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And then I started looking at these rosters. I was like, which one's more talented? Oh, whoa. The Dallas Cowboys are more talented.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, right? So now you start to say, well, what's going on? They're not working as hard. There's conversations about commitment, about effort, things between the ear. And you know that in football, the hardest thing to dress up is no talent. But if you have talent, if you don't work hard, yeah, you can get undressed, but it's easy to put them clothes back on. The Dallas Cowboys are going to be in a position where they're like, the world is caving in on us right now. But we're not maligned in terms of what the Philadelphia Eagles are dealing with, and we're not as under-talented as the Eagles are, if that's the phrase.
Can we go here? Let's go here.
Come on. They're going to fix this faster.
I'm glad you let me there. No, because now let's talk about the Eagles are the only team in the NFC East that does not have internal issues. What do I mean?
What?
Let me speak. The football team, they have a complete quarterback controversy, internal issue. That is an in-house problem. The Dallas Cowboys, I don't think Mike Nolan, their defensive coordinator, makes it through week 8. Like Jerry Jones consistently is talking about, we can't fix this, we're going to fix this, we'll find a way to fix this. The New York Giants just, I'm not going to address y'all. Y'all know y'all sorry. But when you think about the Eagles, they have external issues. People like Marcellus said, bench Carson Wentz, put in Jalen Hurts, bench Carson Wentz. But the Eagles don't have internal dysfunction. I'm not talking about injuries. I'm talking about internal chaos and confusion. Football team has a quarterback controversy. The Dallas Cowboys, they have a coaching controversy. Let the head coach, Jerry Jones tell you. But the Eagles have the best head coach, and they don't have the internal issues. I'm not talking external as you scribble like a doctor.
You are so nervous when this pen be moving. Here we go. Okay, I know for fact that there is some belief conversations in terms of players on the team believing in Carson Wentz going forward. You've been on teams before with high money dudes. It could be your best friend. Hey, that's my bestie. But be real. If he ain't playing well, walk around that locker room 2 laps. You're going to hear people like, hey, bro, talk to your bestie, bro. I know this for a fact. I'm not calling out anybody. I'm not going to wet snitch or dry snitch. I do know that for a fact. But that is not something I should be reporting, even though I did. Here's talk about there have been reports in years past about Carson Wentz's leadership. Not so much this year, but there have been conversations to the point where people have to take up for him. We even heard Fletcher Cox this year. His declining, but I love talking about declining players because I was one. Declining, but no, he's our quarterback. Why you do that? When you know that somebody's saying he ain't your quarterback that you're listening to in that locker room. But last but not least, you say there's no dissension, there's no conversation.
Internally?
Is Jalen Hurts on this roster still?
He is.
Did he get drafted this year?
He did.
I wonder why. Dude, if there's no issue, there's no dissension, What is Jalen Hurts doing there? He ain't going to play. What, he playing receiver on some wildcat routes? The point of it is, if this hits some more adversity, what I'm talking about will fester. What I'm talking about will manifest. Until then, go ahead with your hot take right there. All right, it's time to make our Super Six picks. Let's stick with the Eagles and the Steelers. Which one, Acho, is going to win? By how much?
I'm going with my heart over my head. The Eagles are going to win 27-24.
You know what? You convinced me. I'm going to make the score closer. Eagles 24, Steelers 37. Make sure you get your Super Six picks in for free before kickoff Sunday for your chance to win. Wonder what Paula from Nevada did with the $100,000 she won last weekend. She in Nevada, I know what she did. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app. Coming up in our big story, Tom Brady had a rare mix-up in last night's loss. We'll tell you if he's actually good enough to carry the Bucs. Nice! You're watching Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Marcel Swally here. Man, your Acho over there.
What was that?
What does that mean?
He's driving a Hyundai?
Me leaving you in this fresh suit I got on to get to this story right here, talking about Tom Brady, where the Bucs are now 3-2 after losing to the Bears last night. Brady only threw one touchdown pass, as Acho keeps pointing out, but he still had a chance to drive Tampa to a win late in the fourth quarter. After turning the ball over on downs, he appeared to think he had another play to run, holding up 4 fingers to the ref. Brady said after the game he should have been thinking first down instead of going for more yards. So, Acho, is Tom Brady good enough to carry the Bucs?
No, absolutely not. And it's not an indictment on Tom Brady. He just has never had to train that muscle. Tom Brady has never had to carry a team before. He's had to carry a lack of offensive talent. He's had to carry offensive ineptitude. He's never had to carry a team before. Again, 19 years, 2000 to 2019, the Patriots, number 3 as far as fewest penalties on average. The Bucs last year, the worst, most penalized team. This year, the most penalized team. That means Tom Brady is having to do more. But Tom Brady, Marcellus, he's never really had to do all that. All his Super Bowl years, top 10 scoring defenses, all his Super Bowl wins, that is. Tom Brady, now, yes, the Bucs defense is good this year. They're number 8. But you got to remember, he is having to carry so much. But really, my biggest point, Marcellus, is this, and I'm really going to shoot all my bullets on my first drive. But it's fine. Tom Brady got too much on his plate. Last week, I'm going to the doctor's office.
Okay.
I'm trying to run into the...
We good?
We good.
We good?
It's my voice. It's my voice.
We good?
I'm going to the doctor's office, bro, and I can't find my AirPods. I pulled out my headphone. My AirPod case is empty. I'm running late, though. I had papers in my hand, everything. I open the door to the office. I'm like, I must have left my headphones. They must have fell on the street. I leave the office. I go down. I'm running on the street, looking down. I go to the car. I open the car door.
Hey! Big fan.
I open my car door. I can't find my headphones. All of a sudden, the music in my ears stopped playing. And I'm like, I have my freaking headphones in my ears.
That's great.
The whole
That's
time.
Funny.
What happened, Marcellus, I had too much on my plate, so I forgot about the little things. How does Tom Brady forget that it's 4th down? Because he has too much on his plate, so he's forgotten about the little things. So Tom Brady is not good enough to carry the Bucs because right now he's got too much on his plate.
Oh, man, that was a...
That
was a take. I don't know what I should do now, but I need this check. I got to say something. Okay. You know those cameras were on, all those shots you just took at the GOAT, damn you. You know that those cameras are live and they're rolling this for the world's consumption. But, okay, I'm going to be Tom Brady right now. You're Emmanuel Acho as you are. Emmanuel Acho, I have something to say to you.
Talk to me.
What did the 4 fingers say to the face? Slap. Hell, you talking about I got too much on my plate. I am Tom Brady the GOAT. Not too much on my plate. Let me take you to where my responsibilities take me. I'm a father of 4. And I feed them breakfast, dinner. My wife. I'm at work at lunch, but breakfast and dinner. All right, here's the thing. It's not too much on their plates when they're sitting there looking like, I don't know what to do. You know what I hear? What's that? Like, what's taking them so long to process this, to digest this, to go out there and efficiently have this meal is, Daddy, what's that? And I'm like explaining to them, because this is Tom Brady, first time sitting there. It ain't too much on his plate. He like, Bruce, Byron, what's that? Like, what is that plate? I've won 6 championships, 6 food eating championships. I know how to eat. But I don't know what this is. And right now, Tom Brady is having a practice for the world's consumption. Everyone's watching Tom Brady figure this out. And it's crazy because when you go to school, what happens when the teacher has questions? Like Tom Brady sitting in class like, okay, I know y'all my students.
That's good.
Everybody else in here.
That's good.
We'll give John Heller the credit because he said that. That's my dog, though. We same mind. But the point is, Tom Brady's sitting there teaching a lesson that he's trying to figure out himself while he instructs everyone else. But it's not too much on his plate.
But it is, and you led me to my point, and I don't know if we're saying the same thing yet. 4th and 5, game is on the line. This was where Tom Brady forgets that it's 4th down. There are a couple errors in mind, and I'm going to show you. Think about this. If it's 4th and 5, I just need the first. That's the yard. I just need to get me there. But where are all the receivers? Nobody ran a route to the sticks. All the receivers ran a skinny post, a 15, 16-yard dig. So what's that tell me, Marcellus?
What is that?
They didn't call a play to get 4th and 5, and Tom Brady didn't change the play to get them to 4th and 5, to get that first down. Think about this, and this isn't even a debate opinion as much anymore. This is real. You're a smart man. You know this better than me. Tom Brady in New England, if he hears that play come in, it's 4th and 5. Why the heck we running a skinny post on my left, a 15-yard dig on my right, and a 9-yard comeback on my left with the running back check down at 3 yards? No. Tom Brady would have got to the line and been like, you know what? He would have made an audible. He would have changed the play call. He would have called a timeout. He would have said, this doesn't make sense. But because Tom Brady is already overloaded with so much information, he gets up there and all he can do is run the play. He's just like, you know what? Let me just run the play. Tom Brady has too much on his plate because if he didn't, that wouldn't have happened last night. Forgetting his 4th down, Marcellus, although I made a joke on Twitter, it's not an attribution to old age. That's an attribution to excess information. That's an attribution to information overload. Too much to carry.
Too much to carry, you know. It's interesting. It is heavy, you know, the crown that the king wears, the GOAT. Too much to carry, even though Pro Football Focus has him 3rd ranked this year behind Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson.
And what? And what? I'm still waiting for what?
Oh, okay.
No. We got time now. I let you slide an hour ago. What is Tom Brady ranked 3rd in?
I'm going to give it to you right now. You ready?
Yes.
One of 6 quarterbacks averaging 275 plus.
6. What's he going 3rd in? Go ahead.
We'll get there. 2 touchdown passes plus a game. You want to hear that list?
Sure.
Rodgers, Wilson, Mahomes, Dak, Josh Allen.
Another 6.
Yeah.
6. Okay.
And Tom Brady.
Because you said 3rd. So, okay, America. Watch how I got him in the corner. Watch how I got him in his corner.
I don't know what Pro Football Focus does in their laboratory.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
But
he doesn't know.
But I do know that Tom Brady doesn't have too much on his plate. I know that Tom Brady is good enough to carry the Bucs. You know why? Because the team that they're facing in their division to try and snatch the crown from their heads, the New Orleans Saints, have to win this weekend against the Chargers, Monday Night Football, just to keep pace.
Chargers team.
So, hold on. We lost to you, so we know we lose the tiebreaker unless we beat you the second time. However, y'all have to win just to stay with us, and Tom Brady's just finished a glorified preseason in front of the world's consumption. If you look at this team right now, Tom Brady is not the issue. Tom Brady is dealing with information overload by a standard of greatness. He has limited comprehension with his leadership. And usually when you're in that position of leadership and greatness, you have full comprehension to the point where you know how to discern what they're saying and what you should listen to and trust. He's going through that negotiation right now. That's why maybe it sounds like I'm giving him a pass.
No, I think the issue at hand is the issue that all couples go through, which is we're having a communication issue. We did not establish the terms at hand. Good enough to carry the Bucs where? See, I'm answering good enough to carry the Bucs to a Super Bowl. I'm not, okay, great. If you're answering that, then now I have to say you are in fact wrong. I was going to give you a pass. Let me say that.
Go.
Tom Brady never won a Super Bowl in New England without a bye. Remember, in the NFC, without a bye. He never won a Super Bowl without having a first-round bye.
First-round bye.
First-round bye. Remember, this year, there's only one bye in the NFC. The Bucs are clearly not going to get that. Probably going to the Packers, going to the Seahawks, not going to Tom Brady's Bucs. So when I say good enough to carry them, Marcellus, I'm saying good enough to carry them to a Super Bowl victory. Yeah. This team that Tom Brady is playing with the Bucs, he's not good enough to carry them there. I don't know where you think he's good enough to carry him to.
You ready?
Maybe to a NFC South title, but I don't know where you think he really gonna go.
Okay, let's be real. Packers, Seahawks, San Fran, when they get healthy, we'll see how they play, right? Well, San Fran, you better get healthy because we don't know how it's gonna play out for you right now, and that's a tough division. Packers, What do I see there? Year 2 Aaron Rodgers in this system, continuity. Oh, no wonder you hit the ground running faster than everybody else. Seahawks, continuity plus let Russ cook. Hashtag been going on for years, and now they finally made that transition. But look at that continuity. And then look at old Tom Brady just walking off the streets with rings dragging everywhere and saying, what y'all need? Y'all need something? I got something. Above 500 despite no preseason, no offseason, and this team is just pieced together for Voltron. I'm just telling you, I've been in, let me humbly say this, but brag too. I won the national championship in the 400 meters, and my
What year? What year? Because you keep telling me these track stats. No, what year? How old were you? How old were you?
12, I think it's 12.
He's bragging about a stat he won 30 years ago when he was 12.
Al Bundy in the building. Al Bundy in the building. But let me tell you why that's important right here. And we set the national record, like fastest 12-year-olds in world history. Because I said national, ain't nobody overseas beating us. So we were the fastest 12-year-olds ever. You know why I bring that up?
Why?
Look at me now. Does it look like I did any of that? But I hit the ground running. Sometimes teams hit the ground running and you bet on them. And I chose putting all this money on the Packers and Seahawks and that little 12-year-old Marcellus Wiley to be fast and make it Olympics. You're losing your money if you continue with those bets. Be careful, big dog. Coming up, we may know why Dallas is struggling. Xavier Woods says you can't expect guys to go full speed all game. We'll get into that comment next. Speak for yourself, presented by Hyundai.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, who've been getting crushed for not only allowing the most points per game this season, but also for the lack of effort on certain plays, including OBJ's long reverse touchdown run. That's last week. Y'all remember that against the Browns. Well, safety Xavier Woods acknowledged their poor play earlier this week. Y'all take a listen.
Our effort's been good. I mean, in certain plays, some guy, me included, it may be a lack, but overall, the effort is there. You don't expect, we're in the NFL, you don't expect guys to full speed for 70 plays. That's not possible. But we're gonna push as hard as we can. We know you don't expect a backside corner to go make a play on the opposite side. He running full speed the whole time. This is not possible, to be honest.
Oh, there's a reason we have a segment called Keep It 99, not Keep It 100. Joined by LeVar Arrington. I've been waiting for this block the whole show. Marcellus, talk to me, man.
What?
You got a problem with Xavier Woods' comments?
What? Horrible comments, horrible look. La Tech, do better, train them better. Come out and you've been in the league, you're a vet. You get this, man. What is going on? But let me stay in the spirit of our season, which is presidential season right now. Everybody's been watching the debates. Y'all know how the game goes. And no matter where you are, on which side of the ledger and your beliefs, these comments are more about politics than policy, if you know the difference. Regardless of what your policy is, you need to be presidential in how you articulate your politics.
Okay.
Oh, and Xavier Rose, because I'm with you in keeping it 100, but if you're not going to keep it 100, it's a way to keep it 99 and let people off the hook. Give you an example. How many times have we seen NFL films and Deion Sanders is sitting there looking the sweetest like any player ever, wristbands up, chains hanging, you can see the bandana out the back, you know he ready to war. And then the play starts and he just look at the receiver like, ain't nothing gonna happen on that play. I know I've been in the trenches many a times, and as soon as the quarterback gets the ball, throw a wide receiver screen, he steps out of bounds. I ain't got nothing to do with that play. But to fully articulate it and do it in the way that you did it makes people start to question not only your effort, but the collective effort, because you didn't do it in, as I would say, a presidential way. So take a little better ownership, clean up how you say it, because what you said wasn't wrong. It just didn't come out strong enough.
Look, fellas, I'm torn on this.
I know.
I don't really have a problem with it because he kept it a buck. Really, he kept it a $150. Like, there were no lies told at all. And if we're being real, LeVar, you and I can speak to this better than any, because linebackers and defensive backs are the only ones who truly understand the issue at hand. They're the only ones who run every play and don't get subbed out. Receivers, they can go out. Running backs, they can go out. Offensive linemen, they stay in the game, but they don't really travel far distances. Defensive ends, y'all know y'all rotate, Martellus. Don't look at me like that. Y'all know y'all rotate. But linebackers and defensive backs, every play we got to run. So, yes, you do pick your spots. You got to figure out, hey, where can I get a little bit of energy and where can I not? The problem with Xavier Woods and his comments are the Cowboys aren't picking their spots well. Can we show y'all the OBJ touchdown again, the reverse this last weekend? Jalen Smith, Cowboys linebacker, he picks his spot. The problem isn't that he picked his spot. The problem, he picked it wrong. There he is right there. He's walking. America sees him. He's walking. But he sees four defenders within 4 yards of Odell. And none of them make the play. So now Jalen like, dang, now coach is going to see me walking because none of y'all made the play. I don't have a problem with Xavier Woods' logic behind his comments. You do pick your spots on defense. The problem is you better pick them better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you guys. Like, when you look at the situation, there's not one player that plays every single down 100% every single time, 100% of the time. Not Junior Seau, not 52 out that used to play in Baltimore. Any of the guys that you can sit there and look at and say, oh my gosh, they played with their hair on fire. You can find just as many plays where they weren't running as hard to the ball as they should have been. So for me, I look at it from the standpoint, and you pointed out Jalen on that. Jalen is definitely fast enough to go to the sideline and make that play before a touchdown, but he wasn't given that effort. Here, think about it. If Tyreek Hill says, the same exact thing that Xavier Woods just said, does anybody have a problem with it? Right? Nope. If Tyreek Hill says, every single play, I'm not going to run down the field on this route if I know the play is going the other way. I mean, I might work my way into it, but I'm not running 100% of the route. Nobody have a problem with it. But it's because your results are so poor and they don't look like they have any change in sight. You can't say something like this. Who is Xavier Woods to say this? You can't. That's like, hey, they caught us, but hey, y'all come from out behind the trees. Hey, y'all come, they got us. They got us. We all going to jail now, right? You was the only one that was caught, and you done called everybody out. It's bad timing and it's poor taste, man.
Well, it is. It's a bad calculator that made this calculation of which plays to take, like Acho was saying, and you went to as well. I got to push back, though. I played with Junior Seau a couple years. I ain't see the play. This sucker did.
Bruh.
Recipe. No, but I know what you're saying. But I was in front of him. So
I love Seau, too, but come on now, Dad.
That dude used to tilt like none other. He might be a 95%er. Like, none of us is 100, but he might be.
He tilted
more than most.
It's so much you don't got to look at when he doesn't. How about that?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Rest in peace to the homie. That's my dog right there, man. All right. So here's the thing.
Respect.
This should never leave your mouth because it makes you think that this is your mindset. And that's the biggest problem. Like, you can't look at coach and be like, I ain't got 70 plays in me today, coach. So I ain't got it.
I'll give you a little bit on these.
Yeah, coach, I ain't got it. So,
I'm going to have to chill on like 30%.
Right. And so when the ball snaps, you can't be out there making us think that you're running calculations of which plays are important and which plays are not. Your time has to be spent better than that. I give it to you this way. His teammate, Joe Thomas, said he doesn't think it's an effort issue. He says it's a lack of consistency and communication. And we know that allows you to play faster if we are being consistent with our communication. So it's an interesting way that he's skinning the cat by basically almost saying the same damn thing. When we pick our spots, we pick better spots because of our communication. That's how you play faster. But I'm going to give it to you like Big Sean just gave it to y'all on Detroit, too. I don't really listen to a lot of new rap, but Big Sean, one of my favorite artists, and he got me back in this new rap game because this sucker said, hard work don't mean squat if it ain't smart. Think about it. We all want to work hard, and my wife and I are completely different. She's hard work to the tilt, and I'm smart work with a little hard work built in there, but I'm smart work. I'm like these millennials, and I'm old, but it's like, nah, I ain't doing all that extra stuff. And it's just amazing that we are watching this manifest, like mindsets, how to pick your spots, when to pick your spots, and if your results are good, do you get a pass for the spots you picked? That's all happening right now in this conversation.
I'm with you on that, Sel, because I have always been a work smarter, not harder guy. Always, even to my own detriment. But, gentlemen, sometimes you just gotta lie to them. Sometimes you just gotta lie. Think about this. Tom Brady yesterday made one of the most egregious errors anybody can make in football. One of the most egregious. He forgot what down it was with the game on the line. But post-game, the reporter says, hey, Tom, was it clear for you guys whether it was third or fourth down on the last play? This is Tom Brady's quote. Yeah, you're up against the clock, you know, and you're up against I knew we had to gain a chunk, so I should have been thinking more first down instead of chunk on that down. He didn't answer the question.
Yeah, dog.
Just lied to him. Because if Tom Brady would have told the truth, honestly, I didn't know what down it was. We're talking about it, leading the show with it. Is Tom Brady too old to play the game? Does Tom Brady have early onset dementia? Is Tom Brady we're doing all these other things. So Tom Brady just lied to him. Xavier Woods, in this instance, he should have just lied to him.
No, he couldn't lie because we're going to stay with Big Sean on this one, all right? Here we go. He was making it clear in them comments, I don't mess with you. You little raggedy coach, I don't mess with you. You better call some better defense. We don't mess with you. All right. So he keeping it real. Hey, that was passive-aggressively deflecting the blame, saying that, look, we out here to ball, and we're going to make some plays for you. But if you're expecting us to go full throttle 100% of the time for this dude, the way he's calling these defenses, making us look bad, now I got to answer these questions? Nah, man. Just letting you know. It ain't us. It ain't us.
Oh, man, y'all really, we got another layer here. Because now you're taking me where I've been here before. Y'all been here before, too. When the team ain't doing well and your unit ain't doing well, but you doing your thistle out there. You're like, I'm out here getting mine, and y'all don't want to really rock with me. So here we go. I give you a real example. When I left the Buffalo Bills, we were 8-8. And that sounds better than it felt like we were. We weren't that good. And I remember there were times where I had to make sure I separated church and state. Like, you know, separated me from what the hell the Bills was, because it was my franchise, it was my contract year in that situation. So this is Xavier Woods, who, quiet as kept, is ranked the 5th best safety this year in terms of his pass coverage. So he's like, yo, y'all talking a lot about these runs that I'm not so ranked high in and doesn't have anything to do with me as a D-back. Y'all forgetting to ask me questions about how I'm balling top 5 in this league when that ball's in the air. So, as you said, LeVar, I don't mess with y'all in this moment. And Acho, I got to push back one more thing. We did lead the show with Tom Brady. Tom Brady lied. He sets the GOAT. We still led the show talking about Tom Brady, even though the GOAT lied in that conversation.
No, that's real. That's real. That's real. L.A., you got me on my Big Sean tip. I can't follow that up, though, but that was a banger. That was a banger. Marcellus, I got to end with this, bro, because you taught me this one. No one cares what you do until you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. At the end of the day, defensive coordinators, they're not going to bring up if you're loafing or not. If the ball gets tackled, if the running back gets tackled, they're not going to bring it up. It's not a big deal. No one cares about that stuff until y'all not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Cowboys are supposed to be winning games. They not doing that, so now you got to nitpick at every little detail.
Ooh, I hated that.
Coming up, the Titans are in hot water for nearly having their game against the Bills canceled. I'm going to tell you why the Bills players have a huge reason to be upset. That's next. Speak for yourself.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's talk about the Titans, who are scheduled to host the Bills on Tuesday, but it took a lot to get to this point. At least 23 Tennessee players and personnel have tested positive for the coronavirus in the last 2 weeks, but they still held a private workout recently when they were supposed to be on lockdown. Some called for the team to forfeit their Week 5 matchup against Buffalo, but under the revised COVID-19 terms, neither team will get paid if that happened. VAR's back with us. Acho, how should the Bills players feel about the Titans situation?
Oh, I'm sick. I'm sick. And if I'm a Bills player, I'm sick, not literally, but I'm like, I'm PO'd because we all in this together.
No puns.
Like, let's be real. We all in this together. That's why I like these conversations with y'all who've been in the locker rooms even longer than I, because y'all realize, like, look, half the players weren't really trying to be here no way. right? Like, it's in the middle of a pandemic, but you know what? I love the game. I love my teammates. I love my sports. I love these fans. Let's do this.
I love
let's
this
play.
cash.
But, and I love this paper.
Boy.
Let's do this. Let's play. But that leads me to my first point, LA. Based on what I read about the NFLPA rulings, if the game gets canceled, you don't get paid.
No cash.
So what that means is Stephon Diggs, who signed for $14 million on this season, he would lose out on like $900,000 his game check. That's what that means. So as a Bills player, that's the first reason I'm mad. The second reason is very simple. Hey, we all in this together, y'all. I don't like somebody getting COVID is unfortunate because who knows how it happened. But for y'all to still be trying to sneak in these practices, allegedly, like now y'all costing me game checks, but also in the NFL, the off day. What day is the off day, Marcellus?
Tuesday.
Off day on Tuesday, gentlemen. And now y'all got me playing on Tuesday. So y'all got me playing on my off day, not a fault of my own, but because of y'all. If I am a Bills player, I am absolutely livid. Potentially was going to cost me money. Okay, now you didn't cost me money. Now you cost me my off day. But after we play y'all, I got to backdoor and play the Chiefs on Sunday. So now I don't have my off day, and I have a short week to play the toughest quarterback, arguably talent-wise, of this generation. Nah, we got issues, man.
Look, got me playing on my day off. What the hell y'all doing? I would feel a certain type of way, too. And I understand the whole universal pact that all the players signed on to in terms of respecting the league protocol, and then you violate it, you feel a certain type of way. You certainly feel blindsided by that. That said, if I were a Bills player, to add a little levity before I get into it, first thing I would say is, why in the hell am I now being talked about on Speak for Yourself for the first time when we're undefeated and our quarterback is third in MVP voting right now?
Bills Mafia!
And now y'all want to talk about us because we got to respond to COVID. Boy, y'all slick. All right, here's the thing. My wife and I handle situations like this differently. I always build into the equation. I'm kind of like the league office in my mentality. I always build into the equation some issues, no matter what. I never look at anything that I'm going to enter in as it going to go perfectly. I know if something's going to happen, whether it's me as the culprit or someone else, there will be an adjustment because the only thing that is certain in life is uncertainty.
Talk about it.
That said, my wife is not like that, and I've been married to her for 6 years. We've been together for 9 years, and we are still different. My wife is Tupac. I am Snoop. My wife wants to ride on every issue no matter what and bang on it, and I see it happen all the time. Meanwhile, I'm down for the smoke, but I'm chill with it. I'm cool with it. I'm relaxed with it. If you're the Buffalo Bills, it's unfortunate that your life has been complicated and delayed and thrown around the calendar because of what they did. But also, let's respect that those guys put themselves in harm's way, but now they're in harm's way. So let's make sure we don't go too far in terms of how we feel and not respect that these guys actually contracted a deadly virus in the process.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big concern issue. The way they respond is by being major concerned. There's a bigger issue here, guys. That concern should live within the Titans organization and every other organization out there. You know why? Because we're talking about game checks. We're talking about forfeiture of games. What if this becomes a trend? What if this really isn't, the protocols weren't right with Tennessee? They didn't do what they were supposed to do. They're the reason why we're here right now. What if we see this team pop up with it, that team pop up with it? And now you're talking about game after game being canceled. You know, I don't care if you're a salary or bonus guy that got millions of dollars. That puts you in jeopardy, all right? If you're a check-to-check guy, that puts you in jeopardy. If you're an on-the-bubble type of guy who needs these games and you think about this, you could miss out on playing in a game and be released that next day and be looking for another job that next week, and things like this could keep you from actually even being able to get a job somewhere else. It's got to be major concern and a bigger major concern in terms of what this can mean moving forward into this season.
Yeah, that's why, though, L.A., that's why if I'm a Bills player, like, I'm heated. And I'm heated not because of the initial contraction, but I'm like, yo, if y'all got this, like if someone on your team, take all the necessary precautions so that y'all can get right and so that these games can continue to move forward. Because, Sel, I'll push back on you a little bit in that.
Please.
If you in the Bills locker room, bro,
I've been there.
Of course. You worried about you and what you got to do to make sure you continue to get yours, continue to keep your family safe, make sure everything you got going on over here is cool. And then if you see this other shit messing things up that's about to now impact you, you looking at them like, come on, man. Like, what y'all doing here? And so I know if I'm a Bills player, I'm selfishly like, hey, y'all get this right. Because why am I now suffering? Because losing that off day, y'all don't know. Hey, that off day is the only thing that gets you from week to week.
Charge these
So you lose
Especially
that off
if you
day.
get Victory Monday. You get that Victory Monday, you get it. You got a little vacay time. You know.
So that's why I'm like, nah, Marcellus, I wouldn't be as gracious to let it slide, particularly the fact that they're still sneaking in workouts.
Yeah, and look, I know I'm an outlier in this conversation, as I have messed up many conversations with my sensibilities, the way I perceive things, and how I take things and just brush them off. I told you I'm Snoop, man. I'll just be chilling. But murder was the case that they gave me. Like, I also am with the smoke. Don't ever think I ain't about that. Here's the thing. This is a disease, a virus that doesn't discriminate. So by hook or crook, however you contract it, it's not sitting there saying, well, what was your protocol? There have been people who have wiped down everything and been responsible. Unfortunately, they're gone from this planet in terms of contracting this and the deadly complications that come from it. And then there are people who are irresponsible as hell, and they're probably out there chilling because 324 million Americans have not contracted this virus, and 7 million, unfortunately, have. So it's weird how you're going to try to place your concern that can turn into blame in a conversation that doesn't really give a damn about you to a large degree. I look at it like I would be heated as well. I would selfishly be heated, but then I wouldn't know where to direct it. I would be heated at imperfection. I would be heated at something that doesn't care about anybody. So it's weird if you look at case by case, be careful how far you dig down and really try to plant a flag, because you're not gonna know what you're planting it for.
And that's the problem here. The sensibility of all of it is we could say, okay, well, the Titans shouldn't be carrying on with their practices, go through the proper protocol. But these guys aren't in a bubble. And you're not going to be able to put these teams and these franchises in a bubble for the amount of time for them to get through the rest of this season and the playoffs and the Super Bowl like they did with the NBA. So that is a disadvantage because it only takes one person, one person. And we all know if we're going to sit there and blame the Titans for one person possibly being the catalyst for how it spread in the building, it's just really hard for me to look at the NFL or look at a franchise and hold them accountable for something that could inevitably happen, because you have 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-olds. Heck, you got 30-year-olds that think they that age, and sometimes their actions mirror and reflect that, and it takes one moment. It doesn't have to be a bad moment. Didn't have to be the whole entire deal. It could just be, I'm out. I'm with friends. I'm over here. I'm not in my house. And that leads to it. So it's a bigger concern in terms of how it's getting contracted and how it's getting spread, because you can't control it. You cannot control every single person.
Yeah, this is the pure definition of dilemma when you have two bad choices. Imagine being an active player, as we all were at one time, and you had to sign on to a league protocol that says groups of more than 3 of you players are prohibited outside of the facilities. Woo, that's tough, but you want to play and you want that check, but goodness, that is a tough deal to live up to. Coming up, Tom Brady really lost his temper last night. We'll tell you if the GOAT gets a pass for his sideline antics.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's go back to Tom Brady, the GOAT, whose Bucs lost last night to the Bears. But a moment that people are talking about happened late in the third quarter. Brady was seen irate, yelling at his offensive line on the sideline. In the previous drive, his offensive squad had a holding call and unnecessary roughness penalty as well, and that resulted in Tampa having to punt. So, Big Bro Sel.
Yes.
You giving Tom Brady a pass for his sideline antics?
I'm giving him a pass, absolutely. I'm giving him the equity he's earned. I don't like your face right now. It's scrunched up over there. Scrunchy. Everybody wants the chip. Everyone wants the championship. Give me the chips. Sometimes it gets chippy in the process of getting those chips. You want the learn without the burn. Guess what? I became the GOAT because I know what it takes. And if you're not going to sit there and take it, doesn't mean I'm not going to give it. Let me give you this sequence, right before why Tom Brady was so irate, so in his feelings. He was seen screaming because they just punted. Why did they punt? Couple holding calls. Unnecessary roughness call against the center. The center? The hell you doing? Being too rough. Offensive PI, Mike Evans. And y'all gave up a sack. Tom Brady knows that the game was in the balance. Maybe before the players knew that the game was in the balance. Forget the score. He's talking about the tide. He's talking about the entire season. He's talking about their goals. So, yeah, if you're going to dog curse me, at least have the equity of a Tom Brady, and at least let me know it's for a good reason. And Tom Brady passed both of those.
Tom Brady, sir, he don't get no pass. Let me tell you why. Tom Brady was the GOAT in New England.
You said it. In 40th slip in the block in the set.
Tom Brady was the GOAT in New England.
Yeah, right.
Tom Brady will be the GOAT when it is all said and done. But right now in Tampa Bay, Tom Brady is not the current GOAT. Tom Brady, don't bring that energy and your accomplishments from there and try to talk to me in this same way, this same form, in this same fashion. But also, Marcellus, it's very, very simple for me. Judge not lest you be judged. Condemn not lest you be condemned. Let he who's without sin cast the first stone. The problem is, Tom, did you dog cuss yourself out when you forgot it was 4th down with the game on the line? Because that error is actually more egregious than any of the other errors. You mentioned this right before he dog cursed on the sideline. Holding call, offensive PI, unnecessary roughness. Those are all actions because of another heartbeat. My coach always told me, don't let anything without a heartbeat beat you. What that means is don't let fatigue beat you. Don't let emotions beat you. Don't let tiredness or distraction. Don't let anything without a heartbeat beat you. All them other penalties, that was because of heartbeats. Tom Brady forgetting it was 4th down? Nah, he just got beat by himself. So if Tom Brady's going to be perfect, Marcellus, then sure, judge others. Condemn others, cast all the stones in the world. But if you're going to have errors yourself, please judge not before we judge you.
Ooh, that's a good take for that bad premise you stood on, but you gave it the most. Boy, you got me over here writing notes I didn't expect to write. Okay, so when LeBron, the GOAT, goes to the Lakers and dog curses AD, LeBron, that GOAT, it was for Cleveland and Miami, not here. Oh, no,
But he's still the GOAT. He's still the GOAT there.
He's still the GOAT.
Because they're about to win a chip.
Yeah. Okay. What about Jerry Rice when he went to Oakland? Was he the GOAT?
Bring up the tape, please.
I played against him.
Bring up the dog cursing
braids he had. I was like, what is Jerry Rice out here? He's still cursing. You know why? Because he was the GOAT. Montana, when he went to the Chiefs, all of a sudden, you just got to walk in there and say, oh, humble me, oh, humble thee. Where's the restroom? Like, no, you damn the GOAT. You walk and stop everywhere you go. Tom Brady, the reason I respect it is because he knows what's expected of him. This is real. When he walks in the room, let's just be real. You're like, I'm caught between reverence and also respect, like, where are you now versus where I know I hold you in my head. And for you to buy into Tom Brady and his greatness, it's going to come with some ups and some downs. Tom Brady doesn't have to dog curse himself. You know why? Because everyone knows he holds himself to a standard that is so absurd that no other player in NFL history has reached it. So his whipping process may not happen in public display. But trust me, to be that great, he knows how to beat himself up. Y'all just got to figure out how to be that great. And I'm going to beat y'all up in public. Coming up, Uncle Jimmy closes out the week with his thoughts on today's show. Speaking of beating us up, can't wait to hear this. Next, speak for yourself. Before we go, let's bring in Uncle Jimmy. What's your thoughts on today's show?
Hey, man, let me tell both of you little youngsters something.
What's up, homie?
First of all, man, Tom Brady is somewhere between 47 and 74 years old.
Yeah, okay.
He's a lot like Christian McCoy. meaning he got drafted late and don't nobody really know how old he is.
That's real.
Now, I'm going to tell you what I do know.
What you know?
I know that Tom Brady's too old to be taking hits like he took last night.
That's fair.
Okay? Tom Brady looked like Muhammad Ali when he fought Larry Holmes, okay? I didn't like it. It wasn't a pretty sight. Okay?
Right.
But you know what? That's how the great ones do. They go out swinging. They go out on their sword. So I know how this is going to end. I just got one request for Tom Brady.
What's up?
Invest in some Depend diapers. Because if you get hit on the blind side one more time like you did last night, you will understand the true meaning of the term bladder seepage, okay? Trust me, man. This is what happens when you get older, okay?
Oh.
I'm just telling you. Trust me.
That's
Ladder
you get, yeah, you said sword like you Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. All right.